My first sporting hero.
My first sporting hero.
My first hero.
My sporting hero. My first sporting hero, who I actually met yesterday, was Daley Thompson.
Was a wheelchair racer called Chris Hallam.
I was watching the 1992 Olympic Games, and a certain Olympia Christie, who everybody knows, of course, went on to become the 100-metre Olympic champion.
All right, I've got quite a few good heroes. My first hero, I will look back and I remember watching the 1984 Olympic Games, and I was watching this guy called Edward Moses, and just watching this guy just run this 400 hurdles and just cream the rest of the field. And I just thought, and he just looked smooth. He was just going over these hurdles, he had an awesome technique, great running style, and I remember just thinking, wow, this guy was awesome. And he was like my first hero in, like, when I'm just watching athletics.
And just meeting him yesterday was just brought back memories when I was about 6-7 years of age, watching him win the Olympic Games gold medal. He had an afro like me, he was the best in the world, he competed for Great Britain, and I wanted to be like him. And many years later, I think I did, in terms of winning an Olympic Games gold medal.
And my memories of that is not just him crossing the line, but is actually how that impacted everybody else in the room, and it was the rest of my family, watching them jump off of the sofa all excited, and how exhilarated they were to watch somebody else do well at sport. And I think for me, that was probably the first moment where I decided I wanted to be a professional sportsman.
He was my hero growing up. I used to do the London Marathon, and I remember doing the mini marathon, and I used to say to my parents, I want to wait and see if Chris wins the London Marathon, because he was my hero.
Mike McFarlane was my next hero. Like I said, when my coach said he was training Mike McFarlane, I just thought, wow, I know this guy. And Mike McFarlane didn't live too far from me. And I remember, like, when I started training, I used to see him on the bus. And I'm like, Mike McFarlane's on the same bus as me. And he was such an inspiration to just when I was training. He always encouraged me and just saying, like, look, believe in what you're doing, just work hard. And that's what I did.
My first competition, London Marathon again, and the London Youth Games. I did London Youth Games and represented Sutton. I felt very proud to represent my borough.
The first time I ever won a race, and I still remember doing so, I was at a place called Knowles Nursery, so I'd have been 4 years of age.
My first competition. The competition that changed my world. And it was school sports day.
I can tell the truth, I can't remember my first competition, but I know, like, my first sort of major one, and that was, like I said, European Juniors.
And that for me is probably the first time I ever remember getting ready for a competition. I was such a young boy, but I was obsessed with the idea of winning.
I remember the day at Crystal Palace doing 100 metres. Didn't do that well. I was the youngest in the race. And that's when I met Tessa Sanderson.
I remember being so nervous, wanting to do my best. I hadn't excelled in other areas in school life, and I remember getting a great start, the wind rushing past my ears. I was ahead of everybody else, terrified that they were all going to run past me and be embarrassed. And I crossed the line in first place, breaking that ribbon. And that taste of success is something I wanted to taste again and again.